Good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land. God, this is pretty loud. So I'm going to be covering the dark side of AI, the loopholes, lost jobs, and lonely futures. AI is advancing faster than our laws and culture can handle. It's almost like it's handing out superpowers to everybody. Now, this includes people with bad intentions, while the rest of us scramble to figure out the consequences. Now, it's really weird. We're going to get into this. There's a lot of people out there with nefarious purposes that they're going to be using AI for. I'm going to cover all of this. More, in fact, that the fact that AI is going to eliminate and destroy OnlyFans. Everybody is going to say, well, this is good. Well, there's a lot of negative that is involved in this as well, too. We'll cover this and more coming soon. So I'm going to make this a very short stream. This isn't going to be very long because I have a lot of work to do outside of YouTube, but we're going to get to it. Let's begin. So there's a lot that is involved in all of this. All right, let me actually play this. I don't know what happened to my AI, but this is acting kind of crazy. We were just talking about this, right? Hold on. Let me see if I can bring this up. Oh, don't tell me that this is acting up now. Now this thing wants to just act up? Crazy. Crazy work.
Four, 3, 2, 1, go.
It's the Caper Smart Cart.
So when people talk about AI, AI is going to be taking over a lot of things. When people talk about fear, oh, my AI is going to take over. Well, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of AI is rapidly improving fast. Matter of fact, the reason why I wanted to roll this out is that I wanted to point out that even the simplest tasks are being taken over by AI. Cashiers are being eliminated by AI, and we're going to show you this right now. This is crazy.
It's the Caper Smart Cart, packed full of technology and sensors.
Then there's a screen here, so you can actually interact with the cart as you're shopping.
Ahmed Beshri is co-founder of the AI-powered technology that was purchased by Instacart for $350 million.
So customer just grabs any product off the shelf, they'll just simply toss it inside of the cart, and these cameras will actually, leveraging AI that we've built in-house, pick up features from that product and automatically recognize it as you're adding it.
So we're not even going to need cashiers anymore. I mean, you thought the self-checkout was one thing, but they have shopping carts as cashiers now. AI is integrated into cashiers now to where it's like now you just need to grab a shopping cart. You go in, throw your groceries in, and it charges you, and you leave, and then that's it.
In the cart.
It's now located in dozens of stores across the country.
Yeah, so AI is taking over a lot of sectors. This is where people are diving into trade jobs to where it's like they want a job that's not going to be taken over by AI. This is one thing that they're doing. I'm going to delve into a very dark problem that's happening right now. The title of this is The Terrors of AI in vagina in OnlyFans. It's literally what the title is, but we're going to dive into one of the deepest problems of AI. We have child predators out there that are justifying the fact that, and I'm going to dive into this right now. They're literally creating artificial children online, which is CP online. And they're saying, well, no child was hurt because it's not a real child. And they're trying to find loopholes in gray areas of which to create new CP from AI. This is a crazy problem that they're trying to produce.
Investigators say 30-year-old Wilson Jones, a teacher here at Corinth Middle School, was on the job when IT staff got a severe alert to sexually explicit content being downloaded onto his computer.
We were alerted by the Mississippi Department of Education.
According to court records, investigators found 3 videos of children kissing and exposing themselves on Wilson's laptop. Deep fakes created using artificial intelligence.
So the problem with this is now that we're going to have deep fakes and AI videos of corn online, you can now produce deep fakes of children online and corn online of people doing this. Child predators are now going to use artificial intelligence to try to skirt the law and get around this by saying, well, real kids weren't harmed. The problem with this is they need to go ahead and stop this. It's going to be hard to stop this. They can go ahead and arrest people for doing this. They can do all this. The problem with this is in the interim, the creation process of CP is hard to stop because they don't need an actual child to create CP anymore. This is extremely problematic, especially now that people are getting busted for creating CP online and getting busted. They can now say, well, a real child wasn't hurt. Well, I beg to differ. Children are being hurt from this. You need a real image and you need a mock image of a child to use this. The problem with this is when a child goes to college and gets older or of age and they do a reverse image search or a AI search online to find out if there's nefarious behavior, employees will do a back image search of you. They'll say, well, there's an image of you at 5 years old in corn. They'll do this. They'll literally do this. So that child in the future is going to be harmed. That's what I'm thinking of how children are going to be harmed from child corn, even if it's fake, deep fakes of child corn and all this. This is ridiculous, and I think these people should be arrested. But moving forward, let's continue with this footage.
Depicting the faces and bodies of 8 female students between 14 and 16. The girls were never actually filmed. The videos were completely computer generated. A disturbing new trend in online CSAM, child sexual abuse material.
And that's what these guys are producing. They're producing what they call CSAM, child sexual abuse material. This is very problematic because I think, and this is just my opinion, we should ban corn on all platforms. I mean, maybe even go so far as to ban the written kind of corn that they're producing for women in these romance novels and everything. I think we should do that. Now, there could be a debate on banning corn and if bans work. Well, I would say in Singapore, it has worked. When they've talked about banning bubble gum and spitting it out and doing all this, you'll see the cleanest streets. That's also cleaned up pollution, everything in Singapore. Bans have worked, and I can point to you where. The problem with this is starting a campaign and propagandization to push, because we have so many simps and cultures wanting to cultivate the pornography industry, that we now have a space where child predators can now create child pornography with deep fakes of children and everything else and say, well, a child wasn't involved. I didn't physically touch a child. And that's the problem with this. That is the massive problem with guys trying to find child vag online through AI and creating this at home. Like, you can probably have the best tech IT people who are child predators do this. That's the problem with this, is how to stop this. That's the question of the hour. We're going to dive deep and continue on with this footage right here.
It's a very new problem. Right? It's a new problem for parents. It's a new problem for teens. It's a new problem for lawmakers.
But removing fake explicit content is one thing. Preventing it from being created is something else altogether.
especially if parents are going to be finding child CP online that looks like that's a deep fake. You can only imagine nowadays, if I'm watching footage on TikTok, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real anymore. They can create deep fakes of children online in CP, sexual content with children online, and these predators can run amok with this. The sky's the limit for nefarious activities. I think that this should be stopped. They should bar it. They should outlaw it. The problem with this is they could stop the post-production of this, but in lieu of doing this, how do you stop the creation of this? I think companies should get on board and stop this. I think that somebody should mail Elon Musk, send him an email, get in his ear, and stop this in the beginning, in the front with Grok and everything else. They should start a campaign to stop this with all other AI as well, too, because if the maps have anything to say, this is minor attracted people's, whatever that group is, they're going to start trying to say that they should be able to have a justified right to create imaginary child porn because no children's hurt. This is what their argument's going to be. This produces a gray area in law. So they would say, they're going to say it's a gray area. We have like 7 states barring child CSAM, which is the child sexual footage that they're going to create from this, from deep fakes and everything else. This is just insane.
I've been an agent for 20 years and I've seen it the entirety of my career. It's just evolving to, better presentation, I should.
Yeah, it's evolving fast. If you think AI is evolving at the rate it's doing right now, where we're seeing Tom Cruise and you've seen the recent AI footage where they're trying to replace actors, and there's been a fight, right, by I think the Actors Guild and everybody else trying to fight AI in these deep fakes, because I recently saw footage of like Tom Cruise fighting another action star, and I'm just like, it looks so real that they could replace the actors. Just imagine the pornography with children that they could try to do as a deep fake. It's really nefarious. I don't even want to talk about what they're doing on the I would say the deep net, whatever that is. Right now, it's just crazy. And 4chan and all these, the red rooms and all that, that's a whole nother podcast. But the things that they can create and the nefarious things they can do are ridiculous. We really need to crack down on this, but that's why I'm against pornography from the outset, because the things that they can produce from this with the things that AI is doing is ridiculous. The maps community is going to go crazy with this, and I bet you they're going to make a crap ton of money on the dark net doing all this.
Special Agent Tanika Blackwell with the FBI field office in Memphis says new advancements in AI technology make it even harder for law enforcement and parents to keep up. Parents in Corinth, Mississippi did not find out about the case against Wilson Jones until March 2025.
And that's recent. March 2025, that's insane. That's recent. So you can only imagine the amount of people creating deep fakes of children, sexual content with minors online. This is insane. This should be stopped. I think that they should embed programs to stop this, safeguards, or whatever it is. Whoever is creating these AI programs, they should roll out a government mandate stating that there needs to be safeguards. The moment somebody puts minor, underage person, something like that, I don't care. I already know that pornography has the barely legal genre that they have. They should even ban that. I don't think that barely legal should be a genre, because it's too close to where they're creating these loopholes through AI to where they're creating new pornography with minors, and now they can create deep fakes in AI. This is ridiculous. You know what? That's enough I'm going to say about that. All of this should be rampantly stopped, and it should be stopped from the outset right now.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And yes, AI is going to wreck OnlyFans. We're going to dive deep on this. This is going to be, it's not a good thing. It's a good thing, but it's also not.
Humanoid robots in 2025 are crossing a line that many people never thought possible. We're not talking about stiff mechanical machines anymore. We're talking about robots so realistic, so human-like, that they make you do a double take. Their facial expressions, their body language, even the way they hold eye contact, it all feels shockingly natural.
So OnlyFans makes billions because people pay for personalized, authentic adult content from real humans. AI is about to make the business model look ancient. Want a video of your exact fantasy, of your exact type, celebrity face, customized body, specific acts? AI can generate this in minutes. Unlimited and free for pennies. No need to tip, subscribe, or wait for creators to respond. The AI version never gets tired, never says no, never charges more. Deep fakes, technology, and even robotics from Japan are being created. Do you think that these are going to be just servants for men? And do you think that this is just going to end up being nurses to help people? I can only imagine what this AI is going to be used for in the future, as this loneliness epidemic is going to hit women, men, and everybody else from every populace, because what's going to happen is we're ostracizing each other in this battle of the sexes. This is going to be inevitable. This literally looks like the movie I Am Legend right here that we're watching right now, one of those robots. In the fluidity of the movement and everything else, I guarantee they already have fleshlights. Let's be honest. All they have to do is put a fleshlight inside of one of these robots, and one of these simps is going to purchase this for like $6,000, take it home, and then now he's going to be a non-productive member of society. Already he is, if he's buying this. But now you're going to implore more people to do this and purchase one of these people, and they're going to turn this into a sex toy. A really expensive. It's going to be the amount of like a Nissan Honda pretty soon. Look at the expressions that this thing makes, right? They already got this thing modeled. They had one of these robots playing part in a movie recently. They literally had it playing a role in a movie. Forgot what movie that is, but you guys probably looked it up. I should have actually looked that up. But a lot of these things are indistinguishable from human beings to some degree, or could be. We used to have those dummy dolls that men used to have. Now we have robots answering commands, responding to people, and doing all this, holding cups. They can walk to you and hand you things that you need, like cups, materials. They're going to have servants. We can only imagine what these simps are going to be doing when they take the AI that I talked about and combine this with the robotics that they have right now. This is crazy, and it's really going to be lifelike. Terrifying future ahead of us, especially if they combine this with the new OnlyFans that they're going to have in AI, in these robots. Insane. Crazy work here. Look at how this looks. Do you think men are just going to buy this just because they need a robot servant in their house? One can only imagine the perversion that they're going to be doing with this. And think about how far AI is escalating now at this rate. Robots responding in real time, answering questions. They have access to the deep web, can do everything you want. The nefarious means of production and what they would use with this is going to be ridiculous. Japan's already got a plummeting rate, a childbirth rate. China's got one too. Do you think that this is going to help? I would say probably not. Creators build their careers on real bodies and personalities will lose their main income. And I'm not afraid of that. It's the opposite that's going to happen. All they're doing is replacing this with something else that's negative, something else that's bad. You ever wonder why these robots they're creating are mostly women? They're not mostly men that they're creating. Very few of the male robots are being created. They're mostly women that they're creating. Guess what they're going to probably be used for and bought for? Sexual purposes mainly, only. Look at this. Guys aren't going to buy this and be like, oh, this is cool, bro. Just going to leave this alone. No. You're going to find lowly simps purchasing things like this and using this. Replacing real relationships, making the birth crisis worse now. Now add physical robots in the mix. Just add them in the mix. We're already seeing early companion in sex robots that talk. They remember your preferences. They improve every year with AI brains, right? In the next 10 to 20 years, and I kid you not, look at this. In the next 10 to 20 years, they'll feel emotionally and physically close enough to a real partner for many people. Lonely or socially awkward individuals, they might even prefer a real robot. It's never going to argue. It's not going to cheat. It's not going to be bored. And it's always going to be available exactly how you want. This is what the simps are going to say. Dating is already optional because they're already running away. Most people are running away from marriages. I think that the laws need to change. We have a whole mess in society. They're going to say, why deal with the messiness of real humans? Rejection, compromise, emotional labor. When the perfect partner is in your bedroom, they're never going to leave your bedroom. They're never going to get hungry. I don't need to feed it as a dependent. I could just plug it in. With the power of just adding a little bit, few dollars to my electric bill, I have the perfect wife. That's what these men are going to say. Most developed countries are below the replacement level of 2.1 kids per woman. People are marrying later. They're having fewer kids or none at all. This is not going to help at all. If millions decide that virtual or robotic relationships are good enough, the number of real human couples and therefore real babies drops even further. That's where this is going, ladies and gentlemen. Not in a good place. But let's continue. Look at this. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's the logical endpoint of current trends. AI girlfriends in apps, VR corn, and now robots.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The birth rate is going down. This is not going to help us all at all, right? Where the low effort, zero risk alternatives become extremely convincing, a portion of the population will simply check out. Even more so if you're going to have this propagandization. We need birth propagandization. Russia's doing that right now. Hate to tell you, they may not be our complete allies right now, but they're doing a curfew, or at least talking about doing a curfew where they're turning the lights out and electricity, whatever that is. I think it's like an influence power outage to where they want couples sleeping together and propagating a population. The United States, do you think we're doing anything about this? No, because big pharma companies and big tech wants that mighty dollar. They want the mighty dollar, and that's what they want, right? They're going to check out fewer relationships. Fewer births equals faster population decline. Aging societies with shrinking workforces. Do you think that these robots are going to replace the workforce? It's not an absolute. I don't think this is going to happen. Governments are already worried about this demographic winter that's going to be happening. So AI plus robots could turn into a full-blown crisis. The big picture is AI itself isn't evil. It's a tool. Right? But it removes friction from the worst human impulses while also removing the need for human connection. Humans are removing themselves from connection right now.
Pornography is a significant factor in global population decline.
This is all bad, man. All bad. And before anybody says anything, just think about this. If you are falling prey to your sexual desires and your needs, you're doing this with yourself. This is creating an asexual society of people who aren't going to produce during the time. They're falling prey to their innermost desires and fantasies online by using an artificial means, whether or not it's robots, whether or not it's AI. And you know what this means? This is going to wreck the OnlyFans industry a lot, because like I said, you don't need to tip people anymore. That's one thing. They're going to, and the problem with this is also that I'm going to say, Here's the other problem with this. We're going to dive deep into this a little bit today. The core product for most OnlyFans creators is visual sexual novelty, parasocial attention. They thrive on this. AI in these robots are going to excel in scale with novelty and simulated attention. The human advantages are genuine connection, authenticity, live interaction, and emotional labor. This matters to some people, right? Especially loyal fans who form bonds with these creators. That's going to be phased out. It's definitely going to be phased out. For the majority of casual or volume-driven consumption, a convincing fake that never says no, never gets tired like one of these robots, right? And a convincing fake, history shows tech disrupts repetitive visual and attention-based work fast once quality crosses a threshold. Adult content has always been adopted by newer tech. This has always been the mantra. Anything new comes along, people age out of OnlyFans. They age out of the industry. And also this leads to life ruination as well, too. So when you think about this, if you have pornography mixed with a faster ever evolving AI that's being produced right now, and now you have robots who are going to be indistinguishable from humans. We noticed that I played like footage of robots in AI, kind of jerky a little bit. Well, hold your horses because this is what's coming out in the very near future.
Xpeng's new humanoid robot called Iron looked so lifelike during its live debut that even the audience doubted it was real. To prove skeptics wrong, engineers literally cut open its leg on stage.
They thought this was a human being. They honestly thought this robot was human because the way that this robot was walking, they were like, nah, I call cap on that. There's no way. They had to cut it open to prove that this robot was not really a human being because of the way that it was moving, the fluidity of how it was walking. Just think about how crazy this is.
Xpeng's new humanoid robot called Iron looked so lifelike during its live debut that even the audience doubted it was real. To prove skeptics wrong, engineers literally cut open its leg on stage, revealing a fully mechanical marvel powered by Xpeng's in-house AI system. After carefully cutting through multiple layers of fabric.
Now, granted, that could have been a handicapped person with a prosthetic. You never know, but that's the thing, though. That's the future of tech, right? I think that AI is a great tool, but think about the degen part of society that's going to utilize this for pornography. You're now going to have a robot that they're going to say, well, this is going to help you out as a butler for your household. Guarantee you, because 70% of the robots built in this industry are not males. Gee, I wonder why. So pornography is such a huge industry that these robots run off of AI. Do you think that these two worlds are going to merge? Yes, it's going to happen. This isn't going to help our birth rate crisis anymore now that you can have a robot service you in your bedroom that's never going to complain, never go hungry. And all you need is like tech support coming in and they're going to maintain your relationship should she fail in her duties. That's what's going to happen. This is where we're going. This is crazy. And they're talking about in like the low end cost of $2,000 for robots right now. I don't know how much is, and I'm just saying the cost of a Hyundai. People are just going to buy a car, which is not going to be a robot. That's going to be a wife now. This is just insanity now. We're going to a crazy place right now because although people can say there's good intentions with certain tools, just think about how this is going to be used as a tool for negative in society. Just think about the tools that AI is being used for child porn, sexual images of children, things like this, the deep fakes that I've demonstrated earlier that people are being caught with using this and saying that this is a gray area loophole. Just think about this, about people just saying, well, I can do this as long as it's legal and nobody gets hurt. Now we have these robots that are now being imbued with AI.
The crowd could see the humanoid's metal joints, actuators, and wiring. Standing close by, CEO He Xiaopeng noted that he could hear the cooling system whirring and faint fan noise, clear evidence that it was a machine and not human. The exposure, however, did not slow down Iron. The robot continued to strut across the stage. It is equipped with a 3D curved head display for interactive communication and 82 degrees of freedom, including 22 degrees in each hand, allowing it to bend, pivot, and gesture at multiple points throughout its body. It's powered by 3 custom AI chips that give it a combined 2,250 tera operations per second of compute.
So I see what you're saying. I'd say that this is still science fiction and AI isn't anywhere close to being autonomous. Here's the thing I'll tell you right now. You ever heard of Project Bluebeam? We have craft that literally hovers, doesn't make a sound, and we call them UFOs. Right? We have technology that it's probably been like what, dark tech that hasn't been released, right? This is just public stuff. And when you say, well, it's still science fiction, AI isn't any, look, the insanity in the levels that they're at right now, right? As far as their military industrial complex, already with tech, with what we do. I mean, think about what they said about Valenzuela. We had 20 soldiers on the ground and took them out with hypersonic weapons that people didn't even think were invented yet. And we're having this, but we're only commenting on what we see. And the only reason why we know about the hypersonic weapons is because somehow people decided to display those. We would have never even known about that. So, and now we have this. Crazy. All of this is just insane.
Computing power, which Xpeng says makes it one of the most powerful humanoid robots developed to date. The robot features Xpeng's Vision Language Task, Vision Language Action, and Vision Language Model technologies to help it walk more naturally and be aware of its surroundings. The artificial intelligence model allows the robot to interpret its environment directly, rather than translating images into language first, improving efficiency and reducing information loss.
Look, you can't tell me that doesn't, like if you saw that in the beginning and then somebody told you that was human, maybe you could probably figure it out, that was a robot. But in the onset of just it walking, I could be fooled for at least a minute, maybe 20 seconds, right? But this is where we're at right now. And maybe this is only what we're able to see. This is just what we have as far as what we see.
Furthermore, Xpeng aims to achieve mass production of advanced robots by the end of 2026.
So as far as OnlyFans, I'll tell you this right now. And this is my opinion, I think it's worse than real life prostitution, like in-person prostitution, because it's eternally online. It leads to life ruination. If you have a job, most jobs will go online and do a reverse search on you. Right? So goodbye being a teacher, goodbye being in law enforcement, goodbye being in politics, goodbye a lot of jobs and social reputation. Little Sammy may come home bullied from school and say, Mom, 6 dudes are banging my, whatever. This is all bad. Right? I think that this is a huge negative. A lot of people don't really understand this, that it's forever online. You can't you can't remove most things online, especially if you sign a contract saying I'm signing away the rights to this. Most people don't realize this. So, I mean, I'm not promoting prostitution, in person, but OF is way worse. Now you have a footprint online that you can't delete, you can't remove. Anybody has access to this. They bought your content. They can record it and keep it forever indefinitely. You are cooked once this happens.
It's just like those connections that I'm going to miss.
Brianna Coppage started teaching 5 years ago.
Being there for students, like celebrating milestones with them.
For the last 2 years and until resigning earlier this month, she was at St. Clair High School as an English teacher. And one reason for her departure, to make more money. She started an OnlyFans page, a site that's growing popular across many generations. On OnlyFans, some offer premium content to build connections with subscribers, such as inspirational speeches, photos, and even adult content.
Notice how the news, and it's funny when women do this, there's no condemnation. Oh, inspirational speeches, sports, activities, things like, you notice how they're trying to lighten this. She was a teacher working around children. Society doesn't like to demonize women when women do sex work. It's really funny. They get less time than men for the same crimes. I can go on. This is just insane. This is just crazy. Like, so a lot of people don't realize this. This is probably one of the many teachers that got busted this year or last year. If you combine the 2 years together, it's been leading to life ruination from police officers being fired from jobs, teachers, and even congresswomen and more. So sex workers will always make excuses no matter what. You know, they'll say it's self-improvement. It's a lot of excuses, but coping. Oh, I'm paying bills. You know, the economy's rough. I can't just work as a teacher. You know, because it's not paying enough. You don't understand the struggle of having to take my work home and they don't pay me enough. I hear this all the time. What I'm not hearing is that this woman had a husband shouldering the load or helping out with bills. She wants to be an independent, strong woman and do it all herself and have 2 jobs and maybe be a sex worker and work around kids. Insane, if you ask me. This is crazy.
Missouri is one of the lowest states in the nation for teacher pay. And then the district I was working for is also one of the lowest paying districts in the state.
Coppage says her yearly teaching salary was $42,000. When
people live on less than this lady, they live on less. You could have got a different part-time job. You could have. There's so many. You live in a first world country. If you got 2 arms and 2 legs, and you're not an ugly woman, you can snag a husband who can shoulder the load with you. There's so many different avenues, but you're going to do this with the epidemic of teachers sleeping with kids. Now we have teachers doing sex work and trying to maintain their job. This is crazy. The amount of stupidity that feminism and the doors of feminism has opened is redonkulous. Now we're seeing it in, like, the news reporter, whoever's covering this, is trying to make this lighthearted. Oh, she was just trying to make extra money and then paint this in a good light. I'm showing you the framing of the news network about how they're framing this to where they're not demonizing this. They're trying to normalize acceptance through the framing. It isn't just this woman. It's how the news is covering this teacher. Oh, she had to resign. Poor lady. She wasn't making enough. You see how they're framing this? This is just insane.
she started OnlyFans, she avoided showing her face because of her job as a teacher.
A lot of people asking, why didn't you just get like a part-time job somewhere? But
yeah, why don't you get a part-time job somewhere? You could have did this, lady. You could have did something else. Anything. You could have chosen a husband with a job and then split the bit. Whatever. I don't care. Like, you had so many different options. You thought you were just going to work around kids and do this at the same time?
But teachers also take all of their work home. Like, we don't get to stop working when we leave the school day. We don't get to grade all 130 students' papers during the day. It's just not possible when you're teaching. So
that's insane. Like, you still need time to set up, put on the lingerie, figure out a pose. I'm pretty sure that takes a lot of time. Clipping, editing content for your OF and having to do this. Like for me to create this video, I'll be honest with you, I did this during work. It took me, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to even clip this video, cut it out, make sure that it wasn't like a copyright strike to my channel, all this. I'm pretty sure OF, you have to do the same thing and plan things out to where it's original content. Make sure that it's not repetitive enough, make sure that it's probably more, risque than the last content you come up with some creative content, something brand new, something fresh. You have to do this. This takes time, lady. But you're saying you don't have enough time. You have to take your work home. You couldn't have did anything else, lady. Crazy.
We take that work home with us on the evenings, on the weekends. So getting a second job is just really not possible.
The St. Clair School District said in a statement it was notified of the posts by an individual not affiliated with the school. The statement goes on to say the district immediately retained legal counsel for assistance due to the sensitivity of the matter and to protect the integrity of the investigation.
Look, no condemnation from the school district. The district immediately retained legal counsel for assistance due to the sensitivity of the matter and to protect the integrity of the investigation. Insane. Where's the condemnation? Where's the St. Clair School District? Doesn't have public condemnation. See, women get off easy all the time. They get off so easy all the time. Just telling you right now, this is trash. Immediate trash. Bad. No condemnation, just, we sought legal counsel in light of this. They act like the school's the perpetrators. It's crazy.
Counsel for assistance due to the sensitivity of the matter and to protect the integrity of the investigation.
Our handbook policies are very vague and they just say something about like represent yourself well.
What? Wait, they're very vague. Oh God! So your teacher can't be a prostitute. It doesn't exactly say don't be a prostitute and work around kids. It's too vague. It's too broad. What? God, like, okay, they just hire anybody. This is to work around kids. Look, if you're a parent, this could be one of your teachers with the same IQ level as her saying, well, it's vague. It didn't exactly say I couldn't be a prostitute and work around teachers. I mean, kids and your children and, promote the future of our country. Nonsense.
Did I violate that? I feel like that's a matter of opinion.
A matter of opinion, whether or not she violated anything ethical working around kids. Like this is insane. There are people out here besides her that think like her too. Nonsense. So we went over the dark side of AI. We went over the CP loophole of child predators using deepfakes of kids. Right? That's where this is moving, because remember what I said earlier, we saw deepfakes of Tom Cruise fighting somebody, and then that lets you know that with these studios fighting the AI companies, that it's getting real. This is getting very real to where they can replace people. And I know the chatter in the chat was saying, well, AI isn't helping out that much. It isn't evolving that much. The studios are literally trying to borderline sue AI companies from stopping actors being replaced. These people that are producing these AI, I think videos, they're putting limiters on them because it's getting that real soon. Like I think, and I respect the chatter for saying this, and I understand what you're saying, but just understand that there's lawsuits happening right now to where people are putting limiters on what AI can do as far as deep fakes. I think I don't know if it was like LA that came out with this, but literally they just wrote a law about deep fakes in California because it's getting so real lifelike. That's where AI is going right now. It's getting insane. AI is also ruining a lot of relationships too, especially when people are using this with nefarious means in mind.
If the private act of viewing porn can rewire a brain, devastate a relationship, and destroy a family,
What happens when that
Boy, ain't no way, boy. 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 Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't no way, man. Like, there's no way. I don't see this. Like, I really don't understand why we shouldn't be worried about this. So if you're an OnlyFans worker, just understand that you could age out of the industry. You have a finite time as a sex worker. Just be honest. Let's be honest, because somebody new is turning 18 every single day. You make content, it now has to be pushing the envelope more than the last content you made. Just understand, even the ones that do like soft core corn, people get bored of that content, and now you have to do something pushing the envelope a little bit more. You have to do something more risque, right? Your content gets old it gets older by the last content you put out. So now you have to push the content a little bit more, push the envelope a little bit more, be more risque. That's how sexual content works. People will go through Pornhub till they get exhausted. And I know guys at jobs that have worked where they joked about going through Pornhub and they saw the end of Pornhub to where they now have to look at animal corn with people and horses and all this. Why do you think these genres exist? They exist for a reason, because people age out of content. They now become desensitized with certain content to where they now have to push the envelope a little bit more to get off, right? Now just think, you're now more replaceable now, especially with people turning 18 every single day. We don't need AI. Wasn't already the only thing jeopardizing OnlyFans. It was people aging out. It was content becoming bored and people having to push the envelope and become more risque the more time goes. Now you have to do sex on camera because solo stuff gets old and people get tired of this and people stop subscribing to your content. Now you have to push the envelope a little bit more, be more risque. AI wasn't the only thing threatening OnlyFans, but now AI is on the block. And like I was saying, AI is getting better. Deepfakes are getting better. And just think, now with the advent of robots coming onto the scene in fleshlights, now they're going to combine fleshlights, robots that don't get tired, don't argue, don't have to get fed, don't have to get nagged, do any of this stuff. And they do everything you tell them to do. As soon as your relationship's on the rocks, you just call IT tech support to come over, fix your wife, and they bounce. That's it. So I'm not condoning or endorsing any of this. I'm just telling you, we're in front of a very interesting future ahead of us, and this is looking really stupid. It really is, especially with the nefarious events of the child porn stuff that's going on right now that we've covered. A lot of this is just insane, and we went over a lot of this, especially this teacher that got busted. We'll go over this 1 second really quick.
Artificial intelligence depicting the faces and bodies of 8 female students between 14 and 16.
So they're using AI to make deep fakes of child porn in teenage porn. I vote that we should ban pornography, especially the barely legal genre. I don't know if any of you guys were DJs. I used to be a DJ. I know that this is a genre. They will literally have people that are 18 or just turned 18 that look younger than 18 with pigtails in pornography videos. All this is doing is promoting CP. These genres are promoting CP. But now they can take a child's image and make child CP online, which they call CSAM now, and they could say, but I didn't touch a real child. It was a made-up one that was artificially created online. It's not real child porn.
The girls were never actually filmed.
And that's what the CP people are going to say. I didn't film any real little girls. No children were filmed. That's not what happened. That's really what they're going to say. And they're going to say, I found a loophole in the law.
The videos were completely computer generated, a disturbing new trend in online CSAM. child sexual abuse material.
And I'm telling you, and believe it or not, I think that people are harmed. And I can explain why I believe that people are harmed by child pornography from this CSAM that's being produced, even if it's artificially created. Tell you what, and I'll remind you guys again, I recently saw AI footage of Tom Cruise. Somebody in the chat knew. They've seen this before. Who was Tom Cruise fighting? Was it like Brad Pitt or somebody? It was an AI film that was on YouTube. Tom Cruise was fighting either Brad Pitt or somebody, and it looks so freaking real. Now we have people creating deep fakes and AI of children doing sexual perverted stuff. What these people are going to say is, I didn't harm any real children. Real children weren't hurt, but it looks so real. The Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt footage looks so real. Just think about what these idiots and these perverted bastards are going to be doing now. This is now where they're going. Fake CP is now going to be created, and they're going to say, you know what? I didn't create this. Well, who's producing this? They need to put limiters and they need to put barriers on what AI can do. I don't know what we need to do. Either write Elon Musk to put limiters on Grok, whoever creates AI to not put even barely legal. I don't care. Whoever owns Google should put barely legal should be banned. Even that should be banned. Because all that's doing is suggesting CP. That's what barely legal as a genre does. It's a suggestion to CP. If you guys have ever seen porn as degens or former degens, and you see the genre called barely legal, that's just CP suggestion. That's what that is. A girl that's of age is going to play like she is somebody that is illegal. And somehow, men subscribe to this, people, even women, whoever this is, and they're going to promote this. Craziness. Just insane. Hey, what's up, Leia? Good to see you. Well, there's laws against CP, period. It doesn't say in the law it must be real children. Well, evidently not. Because they're finding loopholes, because what is barely legal is a genre. They're not real children. These people are 18 and they have ID, but they'll wear pigtails. They look 14 years old and they're doing porn with grown-ass men. What is that? There's not a law against that. You see how they're using gray area? That's what I mean. Really bad. This is all bad. Flavia says it's already here. Unfortunately, degenerates gonna denigrate. Yes. Really bad, man. We need to do away with this because this is now opening the doors for this new material that people are trying to create.
It's a very new problem, right? It's a new problem for parents. It's a new problem for teens. It's a new problem for lawmakers.
But removing fake explicit content is one thing. Preventing it from being created is something else altogether.
We can do this. All they have to do is ban genres like barely legal. Ban this shit. It needs to be banned. Just get rid of it. Because all barely legal is just a loophole to CP. It's all it is. Like, they need to ban even the words petite. They need to ban barely legal from corn sites. They've already started doing bans anyways. Well, pseudo bans, because in Arizona, and I think in Colorado, in certain places, or Utah, I think it's Arizona, Utah, and maybe Texas, Pornhub was banned. Or at least you can't view it, or you have to say that you're, it's just crazy. They need to ban it outright completely. This is just insane.
I've been an agent for 20 years and I've seen it the entirety of my career. It's just evolving to, better presentation.
And it's evolving. Like she said, it's evolving. This isn't stagnant. It's not like tech is just going to be like, oh, we're still at Atari level, or the little underage people are pixelated. No, they really look like the people like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fighting each other. I haven't seen it, just saying, but I'm telling you, if they're doing what they're doing right now with actors and these studios are banning or trying to prohibit AI companies from creating real actors, so that way these actors don't get replaced by their AI counterparts because they look so lifelike, you can only imagine what these degenerates are probably going to do with this powerful, innovative tech that we have. Because for every good, there's going to be really bad, right? Really, really bad, man.
I should say.
Special Agent Tanika Blackwell with the FBI field office in Memphis says new advancements in AI technology make it even harder for law enforcement and parents to keep up.
It's hard to keep up with this. It really is, because there's new tech coming out every day. And then not to mention this, but people have VPNs. They have everything else. It's getting out of control, ladies and gentlemen, and it needs to stop, man. Needs to stop. I'm doing a podcast right now to combat all these on all fronts, because not only is the CP thing an issue, but the declining birth rate is an issue with OF being destroyed by AI, which a lot of people are going to be using, right? That's literally going to be the thing. I think that AI will slowly start replacing OnlyFans.
Parents in Corinth, Mississippi did not find out about the case against Wilson Jones until March 2025.
2025, bro. Once again, this isn't like an epidemic that's far gone. This is now, ladies and gentlemen. We're dealing with people who are making AICP. This is just insane. But anyways, yes, this is the teacher that wanted to be a degen around her student.
Adult content.
They make excuses the whole nine, right? We really have to think about what we're doing. And then this future that we have. Let me go ahead and make myself on the small screen at least. Go ahead, do that. Maybe that. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a really crazy future ahead of us as Japan is increasing the birth declining rate right now. They're already too late, man. Their replacement rate is super freaking low right now. Really super low. Pumpkinhead said first AICP to robots looking like, yeah, I don't even want to imagine what they're doing. Like, we already have that movie called Megan 2.0 or Megan. Just imagine what these predators are going to be doing. They're already making lifelike constructs in movies. Movies about this stuff. Right? I'm pretty sure Megan was like one of these PDFs, wet dream. Like, this is just bad, man. This is all bad. The sex industry needs to be destroyed. just destroy the social. Parents, be on guard, man. If you're a parent, I'm just going to be honest with you right now and just say, if you have any photos of your kids online, don't upload them. I would go even so far to say private your whole social media. If you got kids, don't flaunt your kids on social media. I wouldn't trust any social media with pictures of kids online. None of them. Oh, we went out to go get ice cream. This is my little daughter, Denise, and and you're showing them in their little skirts and all this. Be protective. If you are a parent, be protective as shit out here. These innocent pictures, people will take those photos. They will take the photo of your daughter's face and then make a deep fake. People can say, maybe I'm using hyperbole here. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic here. We just saw a teacher use deep fakes of his students. This is just insane. Needs to stop. I'm highly against it. Needs to end right away, man. We need to stop this. But that's the thing, though. I would never put kids online. That's first step. I think everything starts in the home. We need to start in the home. Don't put your kids on social media. Maybe, you know what? You can do what you want. I'm just telling you, with the rampant amount of CP out here. Matter of fact, go online. Get the app of Child Predator Finder. Oh, you're going to regret living in your neighborhood right away. I downloaded an app to see who the child predators were in my neighborhood. I wish I never looked. But then you as a parent have the option of uploading pictures of just innocent, hey, we just went to the park. This is my daughter. This is my 12-year-old son. And, you know, we're just going, oh, I picked her clothes out. She looks nice. Realize what you're doing. You're putting a presentation of your kids out to the world so that way people can use their pictures and make them deep fakes or what I'm just saying, or they'll do whatever they want to these pictures. If your profile is public with your kids, just telling you right now, this is just insane. Like I don't even know where to begin. I am at a loss for words right now with what I just saw. And I knew that this was going to be a dark podcast. It's already, the content is dark already. I debate people often. I guarantee you in the very near future, there's going to be somebody that's a part of the MAP community that I'm going to end up debating, and I could just see it now. I'm just imagining. I do want to debate somebody from the MAP community, and I would go so far as to even protect them a little bit, just to out them a little bit, because these people would never want to do this in public. But here's how I would do this. I would say, hey, listen, let's just have a conversation. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you busted. You didn't do a crime. I just want to have a debate because you believe that you're a minor attracted person. We'll even use a voice changer on you. I'll even blur your face out for the debate. I just want to hear your worldview so I can destroy the shit out of this worldview. Like, these people, look, they're not going to be out front with this. They don't want to be in your face with this. The only time that they're in your face with this and playing in your face about kids is when they get busted and caught. And they're on one of these apps that you see on your phone because you have a child predator finder app. There's a bunch of apps that like that. To where you can look it up and find out who was the, what do you call it, a sexual offender, a sex offender, find out who the sex offenders in your neighborhood. And if you look this up, I'm telling you, it's almost like I had a roommate in the house before. And this guy was like, because I live in Arizona, he was like, if you go out in the backyard and you get like one of those, what do you call those lights? The blue lights or whatever you call this, a neon light or anyways, one of those lights in the backyard, you'll see a lot of scorpions. He was like, if you take this light out in the back, a UV light, that's what it was. Take the UV light and go in the backyard. You'll regret it. Bro, I did this. I stopped going in the backyard ever since. And it was at night. There were so many scorpions in the bro, it looked like bluegrass. So if you download an app of like one of these people that was like a sex offender app, you know, like a sex offender finder, so you can find out who's the sex offender in your neighborhood, same shit. You're probably going to regret even looking. You'd regret. It's just, I mean, maybe you wouldn't, but you're going to be more aware. It's going to red pill you. It is definitely going to red pill you to the nth degree, because I did this and it was like, damn. But the reason why I wanted to come out with this podcast were three things. Three main focal points. For one, the birth rate is plummeting rapidly. Corn is actually expediting the process of a plummeting birth rate. That's what pornography is doing. The second thing that I wanted to talk about in this podcast, which I already did, was how it's going to destroy OnlyFans. It's not necessarily a good thing. I would like to see the destruction of this, but the replacement value is replacing it with something that's just as bad, if not worse. Which leads to the third thing. Now you have CP that's being produced. Well, the part of the second topic was the robots being intertwined with this whole thing. Robots being integrated with pornography, and this robot that will do your every whim and all this. Just now we're replacing. That's not helping the birth rate, because you can't reproduce with a robot that's going to be has a built-in fleshlight. The third thing is, like I was saying, this whole CP thing. Crazy. It's just insane. We needed to talk about this. This is a very hot, but I know the last podcast I was talking about the infamous religion that worships booty. Yes, that's a cult. And the guy that leads this religion thinks he's a god. Went over and covered that. The next podcast, we're going to cover another controversial topic as well, too. So I want to come out with a series called The Terrors Of, or The Horrors Of. And this is going to pertain things in society that people aren't talking enough about. Matter of fact, the next episode of Woke Autopsy, we have a celebrity guest coming on. We're going to do the same thing with that guest. And me and this guest with Cool Vic are going to be talking about a very controversial topic that needs to be talked about, that everybody's sweeping under the rug. I'm not going to talk about what it is, and I'm not going to mention who's going to be on the podcast, but it's going to be a surprise. And everybody knows who you've seen this guy. You probably got their book. You've probably seen him on TV. Anyways, I don't want to give the game away, but that's been another podcast of Trash Panda News Network. I wanted to cover this because this is extremely important to talk about. This is an epidemic with AI that's happening and needs to be stopped pronto. So, anyways, a lot of these topics that people are in these debates aren't talking about, a lot of these topics that people on podcasts aren't talking about, like the epidemic of CP and AI as a combination, this needs to be discussed ad nauseum. There's not enough people talking about this shit. We need to discuss this. The robots in AI and sex and all this other stuff in sex work, yeah, that needs to be talked about too, but not as bad as the CP stuff. Because as good as these deep fakes are, use your imagination. Now we have sex offenders taking in this material and requesting they will pay top dollar for this. Real quick before I leave, I was in law enforcement, and the people that thought that they didn't do anything wrong, and these were incarcerated individuals or people that were in loose incarceration, if you didn't read their case file, they were the nicest people that I've ever met. Well, hold on, before anybody says anything, they're not nice, but so understand where I'm going with this, with the context. If you didn't know who they were, what they did, they were the sweetest, nicest people you've ever met, and they seem like the most law-abiding people ever. I've met murderers. One of them, by the name of Baptisto, she boiled her baby and fed it to her husband. I read her case file. I've met people, cold look, no soul in her eyes. I've seen murderers. I've met people that beat their husbands. I've met people that killed their wives. I've met murderers, drug dealers, everybody else in law enforcement. The one populace that I ever ran into where you were like, I don't know why this person's locked up or why they're getting arrested, whatever, this and that. When I got on the scene, whatever happened, they were like the most cooperative people ever. Guess who that was? The reason why I say that is because the most cooperative people that will smile in your face and be nice to you in society, the people that will win you over because they're nice and cooperative and probably seem like the best neighbors ever, is because they have to be. Because these people are sexual predators. They will take pictures of your children online, make deep fakes, CP, all this shit, because they have to get by. They have to be the nicest people in society. They have to win you over. How else are they going to get in your house? How else are they going to have access to your children? They're not going to have access to your children unless they're the best person you've ever met. Anyways, I digress. It's great. They need to take down your safeguards. They need to take down your defenses in order to get close to you. When I met these people in law enforcement, if you would have never known what they were there for, you would have probably been like, you know what? I don't know why. We're just locking innocent people up, I guess. That's how nice they were to you. That's how cooperative they were in custody. It's no wonder why they need to be in special segregation from everybody else, because they know what they did. Anyways, I'm starting to get kind of pissed thinking about this. All right, let me cool down a little bit because this is pissing me off a little bit. These people need to get their asses beat. Let me stop before the whole map community. You know what? I don't care if the map community comes after me. They all need to be destroyed. I don't care. I'll give a damn. I think Florida started a law executing these people. Probably saying too much right now. I don't want to get my channel taken down, but I just really feel heated about this. This is just, that's why I wanted to come up with this podcast, so that way I can talk about these issues. How come nobody else is talking about this shit? Because it's not cool, because it doesn't give them super chats or any of this shit. Speaking of which, I don't got any super chats. I'm risking my whole channel talking about some stuff that's probably gonna piss off a whole community and put targets on my back, and I got no super chats. Crazy work. Anyways, working for a target on my back just to go ahead and give you guys some good content. But this isn't just content. This is really informative material that I wanted to give you guys. So anyways, it's just insane. This is just crazy. But anyways, I wanted to bring you guys this info and drop you guys some content that was informative, that never gets talked about enough, that I don't know. This is for everybody that's not even a parent. You don't have to be a parent to really understand how serious this issue is. But if you are a parent, this is extremely serious. This might not even be the only time I cover this. But anyways, stay tuned as I further cover this AI issue with CP and these sexual predators as we move forward. Because the next time I do some content, I'm going to talk about something else that's very controversial that's not talked about enough. Oh shit, Flavius keeping the channel alive, keeping the lights on. Woo, I guess I'm not going to have a target on my back for no reason. No reason. I'm not dying for nothing. Something else. I've gotten death threats plenty of times before. Flavius with the big 50 says, if they come after you, let me know. Just war is coming. I agree. War needs to come. And this is what I do. This is exactly what I do. I come after people with, so there has to be two things. Faulty ideology, faulty logic, like the last chick that I debated, the really hood rat chick. The really hood rat chick that thought that she didn't need no man. The one that said that deleting babies, it's not a life if I want to delete it, but it is a life if I want to keep it. That was her logic. By the way, Leia, I hope that you debate this woman, because that was the second time I wrecked her in a debate. Hopefully she shows up, and hopefully you and Speakeasy arranged this debate because her views on and stances on abortion were just ridiculous. Crazy. So, like I said, two things. If they have a worldview that's nonsensical and illogical and doesn't make any sense, I will come after you and destroy you. And then number two, if you come after kids and animals, those two things make me go after people. I do not screw around when it comes to these two things. This is why I do debates, because a lot of ideology doesn't get enough pushback. Especially this ideal, this worldview of people creating sexual deviant content with minors. And if you guys are catching wind of this podcast, or if you guys are late to this podcast, and you guys haven't spoken up about the CP epidemic of people creating deep fakes or any of that stuff, or the child predators, you're not doing enough. I lay the blame on you guys. It's just insane, man. Didn't she acknowledge Margaret Sanger? Yeah. She acknowledged Margaret Sanger, but it was like, it was a blip. It was a blip in the debate, but then we went back to her justifying why she had her beliefs, which she never once defended the prompt at all about black women being masculine, which they are. Leia says, I have many times issued an open debate invitation for anyone on the issue of deleting babies. I feel 1,000% confident in my ability to fight the arguments logically and soundly. And I despise it, so there's that. Amen to that. But that was her logic, Leia. That was her logic. She literally said on camera, and I should post a clip of that. Her logic was, if I want to delete the baby and kill the life inside of me, it's not a human life. But if I want to keep it, it is a human life. In a nutshell, that's what she said. And I'm just like, okay, so we have arbitrary life. That's what human life is, arbitrary to you. And then she said it's not a human life. So she was a walking contradictory factory. This is just insane. That was one of the many things, like 10 different things she said that was insane. She also said, I don't need no man. She also said nuclear family isn't good. There were so many, good Lord. She justified being masculine. Well, we had to be masculine because, so you're on my side of the debate. Anyways, I don't want to make this about her. So hopefully you guys have gotten alerted to this whole epidemic that's happening right now. The next podcast, I'm going to post it, and it's probably going to be a scathing thumbnail that you'll see, because I'm pretty sure the last two were. But this whole new series that I'm coming out with are the horrors of insert controversial topic, or the terrors of insert controversial topic. And that's what I'm going to be producing. Things that people don't want to talk about, but these things need to be talked about. Case in point, the next episode of Woke Autopsy that I'm going to have with a celebrity guest, we are going to be talking about a topic that doesn't get talked about enough. Insane. Relentless. I'm about to puke and throw up all over the place. Matter of fact, I have diarrhea right now just by reading that comment. Crazy. LBs, because she was weighing a ton. Her name was Love Beautiful. But I told her I refused to call her that in this whole debate. That was nonsense. I'm not calling you by that. You might as well tell me you want your pronouns told to you. But the acronym of Love Beautifully, ironically, was LBs. LB. Go figure. Insane. The audacity of you to tell me you want me to call you beautiful or love beautifully or whatever that was. The entitlement is insane. Anyways, I'm out. I gotta go eat some fried chicken because my melanin calls me to do so. And watermelon sounds pretty delicious too. Anyways, sound less like a coon than ever. But anyways, you guys take care. That woman was insane. Yes, Flavius, that woman was insane. Batshit crazy. That was the second time I debated her. Our first debate was on her channel. Is on my channel still. That was crazy too. She was completely destroyed in that one too. Blown out in this debate too. What, 95 to 5%? Probably the worst blowout I've ever seen in a debate recently. I mean, according to the poll. Far be it from me to be a judge. Just going by the poll that was out, the public square, the town square said it was 95 to 5%. Oh yeah, next week I debate Circa, however you pronounce his name. And the debate is that black culture should be destroyed. I'd love to see how he defends this. Oh boy. And then the debate after that, the next week after that, I'm debating a trans lawyer / professor. In the debate prompt in that crazy ass debate is trans former people had it worse than blacks in civil rights. Yeah, you heard it first. I'm debating some crazy ass prompts coming up to just when you thought the prompts don't get crazier, it's going to get crazier. And these people really believe in the stance that they're going to take. And you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. Best of wishes and best of luck to Circa. Best of wishes, best of luck to the leftist lawyer. You both. Matter of fact, have my luck. You're going to need it. God, you know what? Christ have mercy. I'm out of here. You guys take care and have a good evening. Kiss your kids. Tell your kids you love them because there's stupid predators out there that need to be destroyed. Idiot predators. Should ban pornography forever. Anyways, I'm starting to get pissed off again. You guys have a great evening. Take care.